Hi guys, and welcome to today's task. For today's task, we are going to be replacing this floor joist. If you can tell, this was the old access into the crawl space. There's kind of a potato cellar down below here as well, and we are going to be moving the location of this. I definitely could leave all this and just put the sheeting right over top and call it good, but I would like to replace this joist because it's not continuous, it's not sistered very well, and it's sistered with a 2x4, which doesn't really work. So they took a 2x4 and sistered it against a 2x8, and I think they did that mostly for flooring purposes, but that's really not even gonna hold structurally either. I wanna make sure that this floor is good and solid all the way through, and the most rot that we've had in this area is in this joist and on these connections. So what I wanna do is just cut these out and put one whole stringer all the way in. So we're gonna replace this entire floor joist end to end, get rid of these old pieces, and make it structurally strong and permanent once again. Here is our new floor joist, and I actually have 2 extra ones so that we can build a trap door like this for the crawl space. And we're gonna put that where the closet's going to go. We're still in the final process of drafting this room area, and until I get that figured out, I don't wanna build it or start cutting into anything. What I do know is this has to be replaced. Okay, here are a couple tools that I'm going to use, my circular saw and my Sawzall, because Sawzall will get in between these 2 boards and cut the nails, which you can already see here. When you put floor joists up, if you just set them up on end and just put floorboards on top, they will wobble back and forth. So you have to have these pieces in the middle that'll box everything out, and it makes it rigid and strong. I already technically have that with this and with this, so I want to try and keep that. So what I'm going to do is cut down this line and cut down this line, and then cut down this line and this line so that I already have those already cut out. Then I can set my new joist right back in. So we'll start by cutting a line. We'll put that back in when we're ready. Now this still is pretty good timber, so I'm gonna try and keep that for maybe something else. I don't know. And I still have attachments here, but I wanna cut those with the Sawzall. I'm gonna take this board and span it over this part, so I've just got a little something more to step on. I think that'll save me some trouble. Our plumbing is strapped to this pipe a little bit, but all this plumbing's been cut anyway, so we're okay to just tear it all out. Now that we're open from the cement all the way down to this floorboard, we can put our new one in. The floor joists come in and then they sit on a cement lip right here and then underneath this wall right here. So that load transfers properly, a floor joist should be sitting underneath a wall stud. This is our old wall stud and this is where our new floor joist will go. You can't really see, but this nail here indicates where the old floor joist was tied in, and we're gonna have to try and replicate that as well. Our floor joist is square and our cement is not. I would like this floor joist to sit back as far as we can. I want this to seat against that cement as best as possible, so I need to trace that somehow. What I'm gonna do is take a template and put it at that rough angle, scribe it. This new line should allow our floor joist to sit back just a little bit further and more on this piece of cement and more snug underneath this. Let's roll our joist into place and see how it looks. This is a lot better. I'm snug against that cement and I'm sitting underneath this as much as possible, but I'm sitting on the cement as much as possible. When you're building a house, nothing is going to be square, nothing's going to be perfect. So the best thing you can do is just try to correct that and give yourself the best scenario possible, which I think is cutting that piece. So now our floor joist is all the way in place and ready to be nailed together. One thing to remember when you are structurally putting boards together, in order for it to be up to structural code, you have to have a nail, one nail for every 2 inches. This is a 2 by 8, so I need 4 nails along this board. You can use nails or you can use screws, but the same system applies. You have to have a screw for every 2 inches of board. 2 by 8 means we need 4 screws. A lot of knots in this wood, you can hear them. Now, that board is not going anywhere. I do want to put our blocking back between these two so that it's rigid, because I can feel this moving and I can feel this moving. Once I put it back, it'll go away. And that piece we cut earlier is perfect. I am going to leave the rest of this open because I know plumbing is going to go here for the new bathroom, so I'm going to leave it open as much as I can, and then when I'm done, I'll go back and close these off. Okay, the last thing I want to show you is how to attach this. Normally this bottom plate is nailed onto the top of these joists this way, and that's how all of them are. You can kind of see the nails on some of these. But this one, we don't have that option. I don't really have a good way to toenail this or anything like that. I'll be hitting concrete really quick. I found this hurricane strap. This isn't technically what it's used for. These are actually for holding your trusses to your house in the chance of a hurricane, and I think it'll slip over just fine, and we'll put it against there and call it good. I will say, these screws that are meant for this are ridiculously expensive, but they are structural rated, so that's good. Perfect. Okay. Now our floor joist is completely in place and secured, and I feel really comfortable about putting floor sheeting over top of this now and not worrying about any parts of the floor being saggy. This isn't that difficult of a task. The hard part is already been done. It's pulling all of the top layers of floor off. But if you've got a saggy floor anywhere, you need to dig until you find the problem. And if you've got to pull the floorboards and they're fine and your floor joists are good, then just lay down new floorboards. If you pull your floorboards up and the floor joists feel a little bit weak, replace them. You will feel so much more comfortable on that floor afterwards. One thing I recommend with any task is to do it right. Go the extra mile. Make sure you're digging until you've found the root of any cause of any problem in your home that you're repairing. Because if you don't, if you just do a patch-up job, the problem will continue to show itself. You're going to be very upset that you didn't spend the money or take the time to do it right. You will never regret spending money on doing something properly. I promise you that. If you guys liked today's video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And if you guys don't want to miss out on any videos that I'm putting out, I upload every Friday. Click that notification bell. And also, I will put a link in the description for all of the tools that I've used in today's video. We'll see you guys. Hi guys, and welcome to today's task. There's kind of some weird work that's gone on. They are meant to line up with a stud. The floor joists should be one thing with this floor joist in place, I think it's time to say, oh man, that's stupid. That's redundant.